Hola, bom dia, Coleman. And here just after 10 minutes past 9. I suspect you may have thought I forgot to put my clock forward, but my body's not used to that yet, and it seems strange, doesn't it, in these times that we are even bothering to put clocks forward and backwards right now. But good morning to you, Cole Monson here with the Good Morning Portugal live stream, which is also a YouTube channel and a podcast as well, where we attempt to give you the facts and figures. And today I want to extend the show as usual to go into a more social community space. The whole idea of Good Morning Portugal is to connect the expat and explorer community in Portugal. So just holding that space, as it were, to let people talk, to come on and share their update from their part of Portugal, to maybe ask questions or have requests really from your part of Portugal as well. So good morning to you. I can see a few people arriving to view the live stream already. Do shout out and say where you're from. If you prefer not to call in, or if you would not want to come on the screen with me, then you can definitely post a comment as well, and I can stick that on the screen for you. So good morning to everybody. Let's go through the facts and figures, as it were, and these are from the Portugal News. And they've done a pretty good job of bringing things up to date for us. And this is their piece from yesterday, the 29th of March. And you can see there, this is the DGS screen. If you're keen to check out the figures yourself, what's of particular interest here is how it breaks down by region and area in the center top screen there, if you want to find out what's going on in your part of the Portugal. But you can see visually there the hotspots of infection. And the headline there, of course, is that there are 119 deaths in Portugal now, with more than 5,900 infected with the virus. Portugal, this is yesterday's piece in the portugalnews.com, and they're covering it pretty well. Portugal has today recorded a total of 119 deaths associated with COVID-19, 19 more than on Saturday, and 5,962 infected, according to the epidemiological bulletin released by the Directorate General for Health, the DGS. The epidemiological situation report in Portugal, with data updated until 2400 hours on Saturday, indicates that the North region is the one with the highest number of deaths at 61, followed by Centro and Lisbon and Val de Tejo regions with 28 each, and the Algarve, which today registers 2 dead people. In relation to Saturday, there were 100 deaths. There was an increase as of yesterday of 19%. And that's the key figure, I guess, if we're looking to see if we're flattening the curve here. And it is a difficult thing to talk about, how people are dying here, but also how we're flattening the curve is kind of weird. But forgive me, I guess for those who are looking to cope and manage and see the back of this, we are interested in whether that curve has been flattened and whether the figures are increasing still at an exponential rate, or if the curve is coming down and flattening. So the increase was 19%, which was less than the day before. According to DGS data, the 5,962 confirmed cases, as well as those, there are an additional 792 on the day before, which is a 15.3% interest. Of the 100 deaths recorded, 70 were over 80 years old, 27 were between 70 and 79 years old, 15 between 60 and 69 years old, and 5 between 50 and 59 years old. For the first time, the bulletin records deaths in the 40 to 49 age group, and that would have been 2 women. DGS data, which refer to the 75% of confirmed cases, state that Lisbon is the city with the highest number of SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus infections. There are different names, aren't there, going around how this is being referred to. Started out as coronavirus, widely referred to as coronavirus, and COVID-19. An official name, it would appear there, SARS-CoV-2. But infections in Lisbon, 594, followed by Porto, 317 cases, Vila Nova de Gaia, 351, Maia, 296, Matosinhos, 294, Gondomar, 242, and Braga, 208. Since January the 1st, 38,042 suspected cases have been registered, of which 5,500 or so are awaiting laboratory results. Good heavens. Excuse me. The epidemiological bulletin also indicates that there are 26,572 cases in which the test results were negative, and that 43 patients recovered. Not always very near the top of headlines, is it that? But I think that's useful. Epidemiological bulletin also indicates that there are 26,572 cases in which the test results were negative, and that 43 patients have now recovered. Of the 5,962 people infected with the new coronavirus, the vast majority are recovering at home. That's 5,476, which I also find interesting and some reassuring in a strange sort of way. 486 over 68, and that's a percentage rise of 16.2% are hospitalized. 132 over 49 are over 49, and that's a rise of 55%, and they are in intensive care units. The North region continues to record the highest number of infections, totaling 3,550, followed by the region of Lisbon and the Tagus Valley with 1,478 cases. From the centre, 709, the Algarve, 108, and the Alentejo region, which today, as that was yesterday, as reported, 41 cases. 33 people still infected with COVID-19 in the Azores, 43 in Madeira. DGS also records 17,785 contacts under surveillance by the authorities. That's down 2,142. Now, the age group most affected is 40 to 49 years old currently. That's over 1,000, followed by 50 to 59 years old, at 1,084. 30 to 39 years old is 902, and 60 to 69 years old, 850. And that's quite sobering, isn't it? There are also 64 cases of children aged up to 9 years old, 138 of young people aged between 10 and 19 years old, and 588 aged between 20 and 29 years old. And these presumably are the people who are strong enough to recover, and with fewer of the underlying health conditions and frailties that are causing people to die of this disease. The data also indicate that there are 611 cases of people aged between 70 and 79 years old, and 579 over 80 years old. According to the DGS report, 124 cases, this is the kind of expat angle, extranjeros. According to the DGS report, 124 cases result from the importation of the virus from Spain, 93 from France, 41 from the United Kingdom, 28 from Italy, 24 from Switzerland, 21 from the United Arab Emirates, 13 from Andorra, 10 from Brazil, 8 from the Netherlands, 7 from Germany, 6 from Belgium, 5 from Argentina, 5 from the USA, 4 from Austria, 4 in Cape Verde, and 4 in Canada. The bulletin also reports on 3 cases imported from India, and 3 from Israel, and 2 from Egypt, 2 from Ireland, and 2 from Jamaica. A case was also imported from Austria / Germany, Australia, Chile, Cuba. These are all single cases. As you can see there, Australia, Chile, Cuba, Denmark, Indonesia, Iran, Luxembourg, Malta, Maldives, Norway, Pakistan, Poland, Qatar, Czech Republic, Thailand, Venezuela, and Ukraine. And presumably this is when people were still moving freely, when those cases were, as it says, they're imported. According to DGS, 62% of patients positive for the new coronavirus have coughing symptoms. Goodness, this is really deep analysis, and quite helpful. I hope you think so too. According to DGS, 62% of patients positive for the new coronavirus have coughing symptoms, 52% fever, 35% muscle pain, 29% headache, 24% general weakness, and 20% difficulty with breathing. This information refers to 73% of the cases. So they really are doing some deep and reassuring statistical analysis there to help us understand what's going on. COVID-19, caused by the new SARS-CoV-2 coronavirus, is an acute respiratory infection that can trigger pneumonia, in case you didn't know. That's how it operates. So, yeah, that's the a pretty good roundup from the PortugalNews.com, who are covering this very well for us. And this is the moment where you can join me as well to say what's going on from your part of the world. And perhaps you were appalled, as many were, by the amount of people traveling to the south, to the Algarve, for the beginnings of the Easter celebrations. And police were turning them back on the April 25th bridge. And I don't know, seemed to me, you know, from my native UK, there were some crazy people having barbecues and stuff, and the police were moving those people on. And I thought, yeah, Portuguese people are much better at this. And then, of course, Portuguese people move en masse at the public holidays, more obviously, and that's where the craziness around not staying at home seemed to begin. And hello to you, Mansell, in Plymouth in the UK. I mean, how's it going for you there in Plymouth? Are people towing the line, as it were, complying? And it's not just about compliance, is it really? I suppose it's about understanding what's going on and wanting to make an effort to help all of us in this situation, and also mainly to help the most vulnerable in our society and ease the burden of the key workers, the health workers on the front line dealing with it. And that's why people, of course, need to stay at home. So we'll stay open just a little bit longer to see if you do want to report. I mean, I understand that this is going to be more useful, I suspect, as we move along the timeline, and when people feel more and more isolated and excluded from their usual lives at home, this may well be more important for people to be able to say what they need to say on a more kind of emotional and personal level as well. You know, this might be a place where people who don't see another soul physically might want to get a bit of human reassurance as well. So do use it for that purpose. The number to call, if you want to just give me a buzz, you don't have to be on the screen. You can just talk to me like a phone-in style. That's 913, Portuguese number, of course. You can use the normal phone line, or you can WhatsApp me, 913-590-303, and we can talk online here. But of course, you can join me on the screen, or you can post a comment, as Mansell has done there, saying hello from Plymouth. And it's great at the moment to hear from people all over the world, as well as to hear their experience of how things are going for them wherever they happen to be. So that number is 913-590-303, as you can see on the screen. If you want to make a note of that for future reference. This is a long haul, isn't it? In the UK, I know they were told this might be a 6-month. I don't know if they were referring specifically to isolation, but life would be disrupted for 6 months. I think generally speaking, life's going to be disrupted a lot longer than that. But I don't know if they were alluding to the possibility of people being quarantined, self-isolated at home for 6 months. And certainly, I've seen the prediction shifting here in Portugal, where the peak of the infections and people being committed to hospital was anticipated to be April. It's now moved on to May. And you might imagine and expect then, and I am speculating now, you know, we begin the show with as factually and data-based as we can be, and then we move more into discussion and opinion and so on, and people sharing their views as the show progresses. But I'm thinking the self-isolation, staying at home, is going to be encouraged for a longer period here in Portugal as well. And we're not used to that, obviously. As a society, I mean, some people have obviously had to stay at home when they're ill, but we're not used to it as a society. And so I think we're going to need each other in a new way and connect with each other in a new way. And I'm hoping that's how this can be useful to you as well, if you want to speak to somebody or each other. Morning, Carl. Hope you're well. As you can see on the screen there from Dawn, we have been self-isolating since we arrived at the villa last Wednesday. We've not seen or spoken to anyone. You find out how good strong your relationship is, don't you, in these times? We're worried about how the Portuguese people interpret us during this state of emergency. We have to go food shopping tomorrow and are a little worried about how we will be looked upon by local people. Interesting that you should ask that. And if I can talk to that from my own personal experience, as like, you know, Kilroy peeking over the wall there, you know, I don't know how it's obviously going to go for you personally, Dawn, but, you know, I think we can rely on the normal standing generosity, openness and friendliness of Portuguese people. When I went, I did not obviously, but I chose, this is some time ago actually, I did wear a mask and gloves, and, you know, the social distancing. Those are the things I think to really bear in mind, that, you know, follow that protocol. Make sure you're not upsetting people by getting too close. I don't need to tell you this, but it's, you know, you might in that stressful situation bear this in mind, to stay well apart, you know, and obviously observe the queuing protocol as well, all that sort of thing, and that will then stand you in good stead. But I think people are not only generally friendly here, but the emergency situation is also bringing out some sort of deeper spirit of connectivity and care for people. So I think you're going to be okay. Do let us know how you get on with that. On a more general level, I see that the Portuguese government has extended temporary residency to anyone in the country, anyone who finds themselves, I was going to say stuck, but, being here for whatever reason, asylum seekers, immigrants, that would include people who've come here, just speculatively, and who are staying here now. I'm always very self-conscious when I'm coughing now. Hold on a minute. I'll disinfect the studio, don't worry. Yeah, the Portuguese government has extended temporary residency and all the rights that come with that of social security. So you can take that as something of a sign, I think, that that there's a general care for people from this particular government, this authority here in Portugal. And I think that, in my experience, that extends to on a personal level. But obviously you can't account for each and every individual person, and people are scared. And I'm sure if you do experience any difficulty or challenge, it's because people are scared and worried, and I'm sure it's not personal. That's the other thing to bear in mind, isn't it? People act differently and strangely when they're scared and worried, and I think that's what the panic buying was all about. But I do maintain that people here are very friendly. We're experiencing nothing but a continuation of great hospitality and care from our neighbours. People offering us bottles of wine at this special time, different time, extraordinary time, unprecedented. That's the word, isn't it? A guy I don't know just was talking to me in Portuguese. We were trying to have a conversation, and he returned later on, as I may have said in a previous live stream, with 2 bottles of wine, a bottle of his own homebrew red, and a beautifully presented bottle of fizz as well, presumably as a way for celebrating when, in those immortal words, when all of this is over. So good luck with your trip out. Let us know how that goes. And if anyone else has got any on the ground sort of intelligence about that, intel for going out and about, and then do share that with Dawn as well. But I think you're going to find a friendly reception. It's kind of all in this together kind of atmosphere. We were looking at delivery from Continental. They do a home delivery service, but I don't think you can get a slot till May at the moment. I don't know, I'm laughing. I thought that's a good thing to do, order it online and get it delivered. But yeah, certainly much later on in April, possibly May, Mrs. M said about a delivery of food from Continent. Let's see, because that needs to change as well, I think, in terms of if you want people to stay at home, it might be good to assist the supermarkets with their home delivery services and get people staying at home and just have the deliveries on the road. And I'm thinking that would be a good strategy, to have the army or whoever assisting the delivery drivers. And I know on a camera level and local freguesia level, the parishes, that for the more vulnerable people, food deliveries are being organised. And so if you are an expat or an explorer in that situation, don't be shy about asking for that sort of help as well. I'm sure it will be extended to you. Dawn says, yeah, that's put my mind a little more at rest. I did read that. Yeah, we're all scared and worried, but we'll report back to you and let you know. Nice one, Dawn. Thank you for that. Christine Clark saying, good morning, stay safe. Great. I mean, let's just keep sort of chipping in with these messages of support to each other. I'm certainly finding it helpful. I'm really glad of being able to do this in the mornings because it's given me something of a discipline and a routine, and I want to be as helpful to you as possible. Christine, where are you? You may have told me before, but where are you in Portugal? It'd be good to know where you are and how it's going in your part of Portugal. And as you can see there, Dawn was asking about how Portuguese people might react to expats going out and shopping. I'm thinking pretty well. But anyway, let's leave it there for today, and we'll be back again tomorrow at 9, or as soon as I can get. I had a few technical problems this morning. There's always something or other, and we'll see you tomorrow with hopefully more of your messages. And if you want to call into the studio and have a chat, 913-590-303. That's a Portuguese number, and you can do that by WhatsApp as well. And you can shout to me off air if you wish to as well. I think we do need to stick together in these extraordinary times. Also use the Stay Positive Portugal Facebook group, and stick together there as well, and share messages of positivity, hope, and support. Or even if you're freaking out, we're going to have our freakouts at the moment. I had one yesterday. Me and Mrs. M had a bit of a Barney yesterday morning. You know, we're living in kind of tinderbox situations. Fortunately, we have a strong relationship and good debriefing. Shall I put it like that? Debriefing skills. So we were able to diffuse an argument fairly quickly. And apologize. I apologized for my short-temperedness. It's going to happen at the moment. It's going to happen. So bear that in mind. You know, if you do need help or support, if you want to let off a bit of steam, Stay Positive Portugal is our Facebook group as well. Christine, you're in Alcobaça, beautiful part of Portugal. And it's interesting when I hear of these lovely parts of Portugal. Got very excited actually about Fundão. Somebody was telling me about Fundão just recently, and I've been wanting to go to Fundão all this time, and just think, oh no, if not for this, I'd be there having a look around. And the same, I can imagine myself walking on that great big piazza at Alcobaça, or going to some of those lovely little restaurants around there, having a potter around by the river, but not at the moment. And it can only hold that as a dream right now. So thanks for getting in touch anyway, Christine, from Alcobaça this morning. So go well, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, stay at home if you possibly can, obviously barring the essentials that you have to get out and about for. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now. Hasta luego.